静かだな。
はい。
I guess we're on our way to the Theater Cube, was it? Right? That's the place? Shinjo said, mostly to himself from the driver's seat. The Shibuya intersection was overflowing with people. They're all looking up at the footage of Memorial Park being displayed on the big TV screens. The time was 10:21 p.m. 7 minutes until the time when the earthquake began 6 years ago. When the time arrived, there will be a moment of silent prayer, and the festival will reach its finale. Everyone at the festival seemed to be heading for the park or the intersection in front of the station to participate. I could see a man who looked like a member of the city council on the screen. From the subtitles, he seemed to be giving a speech about the restoration project.
まただ。頭を下げろ。
はい。
Shinjo had gotten this car just to take us out of Shibuya. The windows were tinted so I didn't have to worry about anyone seeing me, but there was no way to hide from anyone looking at me from the front. Just in case, I kept myself as far down in the space below the seat as I could. We'd run into a lot of roadblocks once we entered this area, with the volunteer staff stopping us from going forward. Each time Shinjo has shown his police notebook and explained that this was a police car, and each time they let us through. That meant that I was taking twice as long as usual, running late.
I
can't talk. I was gonna say, we're running a little bit late. Shinjo says he slowly weaved the car through the crowds of people. I never would have made it to Hikari-wo on my own.
時間を過ぎれば佐久間と鉢合わせする可能性は高くなる。それでも行くんだな。
はい。
I could see Shinjo's face in the rear view mirror. He looks different. Why is his face a lot longer, I feel like, but anyway. He put his fingers up to the bridge of his nose, and his expression was pained.
警察官としては最悪の行為だ。命の危険があるところに未成年を送り届けるなんてな。
Yeah, why are you doing that? I still don't understand why you're doing this. Exactly, especially Shinjo, but... well, it's fine. We gotta have that final anime battle, I guess. You know, everyone wants it.
佐久間がシアターキューブにいるのなら一緒に乗り込んで拘束したいくらいだ。だが、今の俺では佐久間の犯行を何も証明できない。
Also, you probably get mind controlled, so...
上層部にも圧力がかかっている。まるで安物の刑事ドラマだな。
委員会っていうのはそんなに強い権力を持ってるんですか？
詳しいことはほとんど誰も知らない。いや、知った者は闇に葬られてきた。
Irritated, Shinjo swerved the car around a group of pedestrians that were standing in the middle of the street. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I said this before, but man, I really wish we just played as Shinjo. You know, I mean, we kind of switched to his perspective like a few times already, but I wish he was the main character. You know, screw Takeru. I mean, his whole deal is like, I don't know, it's somewhat sympathetic. You know, his whole idea, like, oh, I'm like, I want to be unique, but then, you know, I don't really want to be unique. I'm actually just lonely. You know, I just want to be with people, but I'm obsessed with being right or whatever because of my childhood trauma and everything. But Shinjo's just cooler. I don't know, because he's a more like, you know, down-to-earth guy. He's just trying to like find the truth and get revenge on his like, or for his like dead friend, I think, his dead senpai. And also he doesn't have any like special powers, and that's what makes him, I feel like, cooler as like a main character. You know, it's kind of like, you know, the idea of like Batman in the world of like superheroes. You know, I kind of like that idea. Just like he's a normal guy. You know, he's just a normal guy, but he's just doing his best. But, I don't know. Then again, Batman's not like normal, but you know, relatively anyway. Anyway, so I ducked down, or rather, I ducked down so I couldn't be spotted from outside. It was a little cramped. I remembered him talking about that. About how this case was his way of avenging a detective he respected a lot. Shinjo ignored me and kept looking forward. It felt like his silence was a yes. Shinjo lowered the window just a crack to hear what was going on outside. In front of us, by the side of the road, was a van advertising the restoration festival. A group of people had climbed on top of it. They must have been college age, and they were holding beers in their hands. Hearing them, or even seeing them, was upsetting. I leaned back into the seat, closed my eyes, and lowered my head again. Shinjo closed the window and started to drive away from all the commotion. Now, what do you mean, wrong-siders? Does Kunosato say that sometimes? I watch all the drunks pass by the other side of the tinted windows. Or what the people they're talking about are going through. Violence, murder, the darkness in the human heart. They think they understand these things because they read or hear about them, but they don't think about what they must really be like. The first time I met Shinjo was... He was right. Shinjo was the one in charge of that case, and that's how we'd met. Though I don't think we actually seen any dialogue, at that point. We kind of just... It just happened off screen, I think, when he got interrogated. I had to know what Serika was really after, and the real reason she come into existence. What had I wanted during the earthquake? What wish had created her? I realized for the first time that I was trying to find out more about myself than Serika. I look in the rear view mirror again. Shinjo was still watching the traffic in front of him. Shinjo's voice took on a strangely different character. His tone changed from one of nostalgia to one of sorrow. That was the answer to his silence before too. Had he been killed by the committee? I fell silent. There was nothing I could say. But I was truly glad that he was the one who read Nono's letter, and that he was the one who was helping me. He's such a cool guy. I wish he was the main character. Again. When I reached Hikario, I realized that something was wrong. It was too quiet. Normally, even at this hour, the Hikario would be fairly noisy, but it was completely silent. There were no murmurs, no drunken shouting like I heard just a moment ago. I checked the time. Is it time? 10:28 p.m. What's up, Zombie Freak 99? I don't know, well, if you're joining in now, I gotta warn you that it's kind of like heavy spoilers territory. It's like a visual novel I've been doing for quite a while, actually. Like, I have a lot of streams for this one, so... I don't know if you're ever interested in playing it for yourself, but... yeah, it's heavy spoilers, so... up to you if you want to continue watching yourself. Everyone had gathered in front of the Memorial Park or the TVs in front of the station for a silent prayer. Shinjo switched the car's navigation system to TV mode and was displaying footage of the Memorial Park. I saw the ceremony and gasped. All the sound was gone from Shibuya, it was like a movie set. Suddenly, I was struck by a terror even greater than before. I felt like the moment of silence was for me, so as I headed to my death. I forced myself to smile and tried to tell myself that I was shaking from excitement, not fear. My mind was a confused jumble of thoughts. Half of me wanted to go home and half of me wanted to say, but I forced myself to keep going. You don't mind? Alright. I mean, again, it's up to you. But yeah, we are reaching like an ending, you know, so it really is like near like the conclusion. There's like extra stuff probably have to do afterwards, but for the most part it's like, you know, the end basically. That's right. I have to know no matter what. Shinjo tossed something at me. I felt the sensation of rubber as I grabbed it. I tried to spread it out and stopped. I was gonna say, is he giving me rubber? What's going on? I lowered my head in thanks. There's still people standing between me and the theater cube, I guess. Oh no, actually, what did he give me? I missed that. Shinjo tossed something. It was sensation of rubber. Is that crap? He gave me condoms? No, I don't think that's what he gave me, but rubber. I was like, what's rubber? How long do you think it will take? I mean, it'll probably, usually I stream one game per stream, so, I mean, again, it's like up to you, but like, you can, if you're interested in the game itself, you can always watch, you know, the VODs on Twitch, but, you know, what sucks about the VOD is that, the music got copyrighted sometimes, so sometimes the parts are muted or whatever. I don't know, it's up to you. Like, if you're interested in, like, a visual novel that's, like, psychological horror, murder mystery kind of thing, that's why I say spoilers, you know, because the murder mysteries part, you know, again, really, do whatever you want to do. Like, if you don't mind spoilers, it's fine, but, you know, you can always come back. I don't, like, disparage anyone for not watching, if they don't want to, you know. But anyway, there were still people standing between me and the theater cube. Yes. He looked at his watch. I wiped my sweaty hands off of my pants and nodded, then took a deep breath to calm myself down. I put on the sumo secret mask that Shinjo had given me and stepped out into the Shibuya utterly without sound. Oh, it's the mask. Okay, so we're in disguise. The silent prayer was continuing, and this was my chance. Several people looked at me as I got out of the car, but they must have been used to seeing people in the masks. They quickly lost interest and lowered their heads once more. Everything was fine. They hadn't figured out who it was, or who I was. I looked up the Hikario building, which towered above me like some kind of fortress. The people around me all seemed suspicious, but I made it to the theater floor without anyone saying anything. But then I realized that something was wrong and stopped. There is no one on this floor. There are no customers and not even a single employee. Even the convenience store, which was open during the festival, was empty. I took off the mask. My field of vision restored, I took another look around the floor. I was right. It was completely empty. There was no sign of Serika or Dad either. The whole soundless space in front of me felt like a trap that I just walked into. I'd taken the mask off, but it still hurt to breathe. I tossed the mask into one of the decorative trees nearby and slowly started to walk across the floor. Every shadow scared me. Each time I reached the blind spot, I would stare at it a moment before I proceeded. Where was the entrance to the theater? Where's Serika, by the way? She was here, right? When I found the stairs and escalator, I felt a wave of nostalgia. This is where I'd come with the rest of Alpha Dorm. That's right. I had gone up the stairs and into the theater. I flinched as the escalator started to move. It was just a motion detector. I knew that. A motion detector? That's fancy. But the machine seemed to be pulling me deeper into a trap. I looked at the top of the escalator. There was no one there. I guess the escalator is motion activated. I never seen that before, actually. A motion activated escalator. It's very fancy. Because normally when I think escalator, they're always just running, right? Otherwise, either they're turned off for maintenance or otherwise they're always on, so. Well, I smacked my trembling legs with trembling hands, then slowly went up the stairs. This was the path that led to the theater, and it was probably leading me to the finale that either Dad or Serika had prepared for me. It's a literal finale, you know, to the whole visual novel. And I was probably doing exactly what one of them wanted. But I had to find Serika and the answer, and there was no way that desire was in anyone's script. It was my own, I thought. I had to find out the truth, for Nono's sake as much as my own. I went up to the entrance to the theater and put my hand on the heavy door. I felt a stabbing pain in my head the second I went inside. I staggered and leaned against the back of a nearby chair. I forced myself to endure the pain and look around the theater. The theater was done up in the modern style with stadium seating. The stage was at the lowest point in the hall, and the seats got higher up the further you went away, so it would be easier for the audience to see. The entrance was at the far back behind the seats. When I looked down, I could see the whole room. The stage was completely empty, as you can see. There were no props or backgrounds. The lights were focused on the stage, so the rest of the theater was dark and hard to see. The seats seemed empty too. I couldn't see anyone. Or maybe, well, I don't know, maybe everyone's just hiding below the seats and then, surprise! Happy birthday, Takeru! It was all a prank. Anyway, I couldn't see anyone. I couldn't hear any movement either. My first suspicion was Dad's mind control power. Yes, Dad's mind control power. Like, without context, this just sounds really weird, I guess. Dad's mind control powers. But if his power worked like ours, that meant he would need to share his delusions with me in order to reboot them. In other words, if what I was seeing was due to mind control, Dad must be watching me from somewhere nearby. I suddenly got an idea and looked through my pockets. Oh, lollipop, okay. But power of lollipop. I don't know. I don't know exactly how that helps, but I found the lollipop that Kazuki had given me. I tossed it up and imagined it floating in the air. But instead of floating, it fell into the thin row between the seats. Oh, it didn't work.
Yosh.
Was that? Well, I don't know what that means. Good? I sighed with relief, satisfied with what I seen. I guess because we couldn't float the lollipop, it means we're not being, attacked, I guess, because otherwise our powers would have worked if someone was watching, maybe? I don't know. I don't know how that works. It was impossible for us to use our powers alone. if my psychokinesis wasn't working, it meant there was no one here. Are you sure though? Because usually, I mean, does that work though? Like usually, yeah, you need another person to rebuild your powers. But like, if you don't know where they are, you know, then how does that work? I have no idea. Can you still use your powers even though you don't know if another person is sharing your delusions or something? Can you just like have a makeshift motion detector like that? You know, like a soliton radar? Activate because your powers don't work? I don't know. Anyway. But I still kept my guard up as I walked toward the stage. If I remember right, this place hadn't changed since the last time I was here. Come to think of it, I had come here to celebrate my acceptance to Hekiko Academy. It had only been 2.5 years since I'd been last been here. It didn't seem real. I felt like so much more time had passed. Everything had changed. Nono and Yui were gone. Yuto had probably left his home and was on his way to Akihabara with Shinjo right now. And Dad... Suddenly, I heard a sound behind me and spun around. Standing there was... What was that? It was like a... Was it like the Gero Froggy? Or... It sounds different. Yeah, that's Sarika. I'm very suspicious because, you know, she was like on the verge. It seems like she was on the verge of dying the last time we were hearing her voice. So, I mean, I don't think we should trust her right now. We shouldn't trust the fact that she might just not stab us in the face right now, but... She looked just like she had when I seen her this morning. Not only was she not hurt, there were no signs that she even fought. Sarika waited for the door she'd come through to close, and then slowly walked toward me. Her voice was quiet but angry. She probably thought I left Shibuya. Really? Are you sure? Are you sure you're being mind controlled? Because that was a little too easy, I feel like. Like, he was like the entire mastermind of this entire story, and then he died off screen? I don't buy it. And if that's true, then that's just like, what? That's so unsatisfying. Huh?
舞台裏に頭だけ転がっている。半分潰れていて分かりにくいがな。
The look on my face must have been ridiculous. Sarika's voice was completely calm, and it was hard to believe she was lying. Dad was dead? I don't believe you, Sarika. Come on. Unless, I don't know. My first instinct is, I think, what's his name? Sakama. Was his name Sakama, right? Dr. Sakama, whatever. Dad. He mind controlled Sarika into believing that she did kill him, but that's not actually true. She's being mind controlled right now, is what I think. Because that's hard to believe. Like, how, she killed him already? No way. Come on. No way. Her nod silently said, of course I did. Yes, of course.
それで、なぜここにいるんだ? 久野里美代たちはどうした?
How could she be so calm after killing someone? It was not the first time, so... It was terrifying to see how unconcerned she was. My thoughts, feelings, and even my words were a jumbled mess, but I managed to tell her that Shinjo had taken them all out of Shibuya by now. And then I told her why I'd come.
お前、どうして電話であんなこと言ったんだよ。僕に何を望まれて生まれてきたんだよ。
Sarika looked at me as if she was staring at something very dear to her. I knew this feeling. Sarika was reading my mind. Okay, creepy smile, alright. I mean, normally, while Sarika, as we knew her from most of the story, I mean, she is like, you know, happy and go-lucky and everything. So a smile from her isn't supposed to be creepy, but in the context of her new I say new, new for us anyway, new personality, it is pretty creepy. Oh, sword, alright. Suddenly it appeared. Its design was far too complicated and intricate to be called a sword. It was sharp like metal, but it had a strange luster that was all its own. It was a D-sword, big enough to cover Sarika's entire upper body. It was what she used to kill Nono. You know what? The sword actually reminds... Okay, she's gonna kill us, alright. But I guess, yeah, well... at least this D-sword, at least, reminds me of Kill la Kill, you know? The main character using like a giant red scissor or whatever. Kinda reminds me of that, anyway. Beyond her blade, I could see a slight change in her expression. It was the same look I seen before when she was talking about Dad, as if she hated everything she saw. Ow. I guess I got stabbed. Just as she jumped, I felt a burning heat in my right shoulder and fell to the ground. A moment later, I felt pain like nothing I'd ever experienced before. I grabbed my shoulder with my left hand and felt something nasty, warm, and sticky. It was blood. Turns out you bleed blood, by the way? No. It's like she's just pointing out the obvious. But anyway, I'd been cut. If I reacted even a moment later, she would have chopped my entire shoulder off. Don't worry about it, you know, if you get your shoulder cut off, just like reboot like another arm, you know? Wasn't it revealed that Takaru is the real deal when it comes to like egomaniacs? He can literally, you know, bend reality, because everyone else is like a sidekick, quote unquote. They can only use like certain powers, but Takaru can just do anything, can he? Right? That's the idea anyway. Well, like at this point he's God, but again, I don't know. Okay, again, supernatural powers, egomaniacs, I'm gonna look past the fact that it's like it's just overpowered, you know, it's just, and also ridiculous, but anyway. I looked up. Sarika was already bringing her blade down. I forced myself to twist out of the way, ignoring the blood spurting from my shoulder. I was gonna say splurting? Spurting from my shoulder. This time, the pain was in my left leg. I ignored it too, trying my best to get away. Sarika walked over to me slowly. I must have bit something in my mouth when I rolled because I tasted something bitter and metallic. Yeah, more blood, I guess. Sarika stopped, close enough to strike me with her D-sword, and began to speak. No way. That's why she was gonna kill me? Just like she killed Nono with that D-sword? Okay, again, is she being mind controlled right now? Because I'm not sure. Because it feels like, yeah, her goal, you know, her like ultimate goal, keeping Takaru alive, is being twisted, you know? It's kind of like, oh, I do have to kill you in order to save you, I guess, you know? A mercy kill. Or at least that's not her goal, I guess, but, you know. Her goal is actually, well, we learned before that her goal is not actually literally keeping Takaru alive, as we can see here, but, you know, again, to like, probably to like save him, right? And save him, you know, saving, you know, it's kind of like a vague term, it could be interpreted in many ways. In one way, I guess, you know, she's saving him from a cruel and unusual death. At least that's what she thinks, or at least she's being mind controlled. I hate mind control, by the way. I mean, I don't know, it might be interesting in some ways, but usually for the most part, it kind of sucks because then you can just, you know, you can explain every single weird thing about a character. Oh, mind control, by the way. Oh, by the way, this character got mind controlled. Don't worry about it. Everyone gets mind control, so easy. The pain from the cuts kept me from thinking, and the blood loss drained away my will to resist. I couldn't feel my left leg anymore, but I couldn't stop looking at Serica. I wasn't sure. Were there any important blood vessels around the cows?
私もすぐに行く。向こうで話そう。
We can talk on the other side. What does that mean? Is this the Matrix? I mean, it would make sense. The whole Gigalomaniac thing and how, like, you know, he real boot stuff. It really is. It kind of parallels the Matrix, so. Well, Serica swung the D-sword at me. But it could also, I mean, it could also just mean, like, you know, death. You know, it could also just mean, like, you know, going to heaven. Or hell, I guess. I don't know. Or some other, I don't know, any kind of, like, religious afterlife. But then I felt something burst within me. Ah! I leapt at Serica. I reached out my hand without thinking. I felt something warm and rough. Did we just grope her boob? Or no, I don't think we did that. I think we did something else. What are you doing? I heard her scream in my ears. By the time I realized I reached into the cut on her stomach and ripped out the stitches, I was already on top of her, okay? Somehow we grabbed... I don't know. You would think she would slash us before we got close, but somehow we grabbed her stitches. Oh, no. Oh, it's because we have psychokinesis, obviously. Yeah, okay. I was thinking like we literally like ran up to her, but no, we have our powers, actually. We can do a lot of things. Her D-sword had disappeared. My hand went for her neck. Ah yes, a repeat. It seems Serica just keeps getting choked, you know? Again and again. Happens all the time, I guess. My fingers dug into her flesh. The only thing I saw was the red color dripping from down the base of her neck. Was it blood from when she cut my shoulder, or hers when I ripped open her stomach, or had my nails broken the skin of her neck? Whatever it was red, and it was spreading. I couldn't stop myself from gripping tighter. My fingers dug deeper and deeper, and the soft sensation of her skin began to recede. Instead, I felt thick muscle and hard bone. You know, interesting parallel, by the way. You know, I mean, I don't know the rules of, like, the whole, like, real booting another human being into the world thing, but when you think about it, Serica's basically kind of like Takaru's daughter, you know? And this kind of parallels his, like, whole childhood trauma, you know? In a much more, I guess, violent way, but, you know, how he's been abused by his parents. Not directly, but indirectly, I guess. But this is, like, also, like, a kind of like a parental abuse as well. So, there you go. Kind of like the cycle repeats. Sort of. When it was all over, the pain in my leg and shoulder was gone. No, it was still there, but it didn't feel like my own pain. It was like I was watching myself on top of Serica from a distance. When I took my hands off her neck, that feeling disappeared, and everything else came flooding back. Oh, no, Serica's eyes had rolled up into her head, and her tongue was sticking out of her mouth. I felt an unpleasant wetness in my underwear. What, did we piss our pants? It was her blood from where I sat on. Okay, no, it was just blood. Don't worry about it. The blood was pouring out from the gash in her stomach. Serica wasn't moving anymore. Did I kill her? Did I strangle her to death? I suddenly felt an urge to vomit. Why? What was I doing on top of Serica? Why are my hands covered in blood? You know why. That weird static thing. Again, this feels like mind control. Are we being mind controlled? I don't think Sakuma's dead. My head hurt, my field of vision was red. My heart was pounding, and under me was the body of the girl I had created. I cradled my head in my bloody hands. I hurt so much I felt like it was going to burst. My eyes hurt too. Everything was turning red. You can let go now, by the way, Takuru. Suddenly my vision cleared. The lights above the stage seemed impossibly bright, like the sun at the end of the tunnel. There was a pain in my eyes. I reached up my hand and my fingers were covered in pink tears. I guess very similar to the other victims of the New Generation Madness killings. We're like, you know, bleeding from our eyes. And then I realized Serica wasn't here. My fingers weren't covered with blood. I twisted my neck to look at my shoulder. My clothes weren't even cut. Oh, okay. Weird. There wasn't a single wound in my leg either. I guess just in a delusion. We also had like a weird delusion before when we were at Cafe Lax, you know, we're like having a weird hallucination about how the pyrokinetic was trying to kill us and everything. Is there something like that, I guess? What was going on? I was sitting on the ground alone by the seats near the entrance. Oh, there you go. There's Sakuma right there. So I guess that was all a lie. That was like a negative illusion. That was like I guess similar to all the illusions we had in the first part of the game. I guess it's just like a negative illusion, you know. I leaped up to my feet. What was he wearing? He looks silly. Is that how he's using his powers? You know, a weird headgear thing that he wears? It looks really silly, buddy. Dad, you look dumb. Dad was up on the stage. He was standing in the center like the lead singer at a musical. And at his feet... Serica, the girl I thought I just killed, was lying at his feet. There's no blood on her clothes, and the cut on her stomach hadn't been torn open. But she must have been unconscious because she wasn't moving. I suddenly understood what was going on. Mind control! Yes. And there you go, I mean. But when? When I came inside, I felt a sharp pain and my vision had blurred for a moment. When I tested my powers with Lollipop, was I already under his spell? The pain and heat had felt so real, but it was all an illusion. I could still feel the sensation of wringing Serica's neck. Dad tapped his own heart. Hearing Dad talk in the same tone he always did was almost enough to get me to let my guard down. But this wasn't the man I knew. The man on stage wasn't the Dad I knew. I took a good look at it. Dad was holding some kind of backpack, and I could see some kind of device inside.
何を背負ってるんだ
Dad was wearing a piece of headgear that connected to it. It looks very goofy. And the long cylindrical machine he was holding was connected to by a cord. Connected to it by a cord. What is it? I can't see. Is it like a D-sword? Does he have a D-sword? If he has psychic powers like we did, then he had to have one too. Again, well, it's like a heart thing. Again, it reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, actually. It's a Keyblade. Anyway, that was Dad's D-sword. But why did he have it? I thought those powers only appeared in brains that were still developing during the earthquake. I mean, maybe he's like an artificial, you know, D-sword, probably. That's why he has the machine and everything.
これまでの研究によれば、脳がまだ発達段階で活発に活動している若い人間。その中でも脳への負荷が非常に高い事象を経験した者だけに。
You know, maybe Sakuma is young at heart, you know? He's still a child in his head. That's why he can use powers. I don't know, maybe not. That's what Kunesato has said.
Ah, これか。
Dad saw what I was looking at and tapped his backpack with the D-sword.
すげえだろ。俺たちの研究成果の一つさ。俺みたいな普通の人間でもギガロマニアックスと似たような能力が持てる。こいつはある装置の端末でな。その装置ってのは以前ここにあったんだが、ちょっとトラブっちまって。おかげであの地震だ。ひでえ目にあった。
That sounded like a child whose favorite toy had been broken. It was clear he didn't care at all about the people who died or whose lives had been ruined during the earthquake.
そのせいで俺らもリストラされちまうしよ。金もね、人もいねえで、組み立て直すのに6年もかかっちまった。委員会のバカども。
So that was how he'd been able to do that to Ito. And how he'd been able to kill Yui. I felt a mix of rage, sorrow, and hate. All the feelings were so strong I wanted to scream.
はい、お前のことを何とかすりゃ、また研究に戻れるからな。
I mean, you could have killed me right now. You know, we were having that weird delusion. You could have just, you know, went up and just stabbed us in the throat while we were having a weird dream. But it was as if he was picking just the right words to make me even angrier. And it seemed like, well, I don't know. It also seemed like he could, like, see into the delusions. I wonder how the whole mind control thing works, actually. Like, it seems like he was describing what happened in Takuru's delusion. Can he also see it as well? Because I'm thinking, like, maybe he's also, like, when he's using his powers, he's stuck, you know, seeing what Takeru is seeing, maybe, and that's why he needed an accomplice to actually kill the victims, or maybe not. I don't know. Well, it was as if he was picking it was as if he was just picking just the right words that make me even angrier.
正直ちょっと焦ったぜ。あのやなやつ一人でここへ来やがったからよ。お前が来なきゃ話にならねえし、めんどくせえことになったと思ってたんだが。
He looked down at her and poked her with the artificial D-sword. She still didn't move. Like someone poking like a dead animal on the road or something. It couldn't be. Was Serika...
死んでるぞ。当然だろう。
Yeah, well. Funny, ain't it? He seemed to say.
思考誘導をかけられて妄想の中で戦わされてるって気づいたんだな、こいつ。最後ディソードを引っ込めてお前に殺される瞬間まで抵抗一つしなかった。どこまでお前のことが大事なんだか。
He kicked her hard enough that she turned over.
やめろ。
それにしてもお前すごかったな。ノノを殺された恨みに取りつかれてるからよ。それをちょっとブーストしてやったんだ。そしたら情けも容赦もなくぶっ殺したもんな。お前もどこまでノノが大事なんだか。
I could feel my whole body getting hot. Stop it. Don't say Nono's name. Not with that face and not with that voice.
何考えてんだよ。
はあ
The way Dad's expression didn't change at all only made me madder. Did he really not understand? We'd all lived together for years, right? We'd come here as a family, hadn't we?
ユウトとウキはいなくなったあんたのことを心配してる。
お、なんだお前まだあいつらに言ってなかったのかよ。
ユイだってずっとあんたを信頼してた。それに
And Nono.
きっかけはタクルのリハビリの手伝いをしていた時に父さんに言われた言葉。独学なのにやるじゃないか、なかなかだぞという一言でした。きっと父親というのはそういうものなんでしょう。父さんが作った家のルール、私は好きでした。ありがとう。くれぐれも飲みすぎには注意してください。
信じてたんだ。大切な家族だって。なのに何考えてんだよ。
My words echoed off the walls of the theater and came back to me again and again. And then I realized that I was the same way. I believed in Dad too, from the bottom of my heart. Again, another parallel is the fact that, parental abuse and all that. Turns out, this is a reoccurring theme, I guess. Turns out our new father also betrayed us. Anyway, what did I say? I think I said I realized I was the same way. I believe in Dad from the bottom of my heart, but he... Dad chuckled and scratched his head, like I'd seen him do many times before. It was the same thing he'd done when Nono was scolding him at home.
タクルよ、お前なんか楽しいことってあるか？
は？
なんかあんだろう、面白いと思うこと。それがなきゃ人間なんてやってらんねえだろうが。
What was he talking about? That wasn't what I'd asked.
なんでユイを殺した？ノノを殺した？
ユイをやったのはお前の友達だし、ノノをやったのはこいつだろうがよ。
うるさい！
おお、怖え。
What the hell was so funny? I clenched my hands into fists, my grip so tight in my rage that my nails dug into my skin.
あんたどうしてこんなことできるんだ？おかしいだろ。
何怒るなって。今言ったろ？楽しまなきゃダメだ。
What the hell does that mean, though?
俺はな、お前に期待してたんだよ。人間一人リアルブートしちまうくらいぶっ壊れてたからな。どこまでいけるか、どこまで狂えるか楽しみにしてた。
はあ？
お前みてえなギガロマニアックスが好きなことを好きなだけやるようになったら本当にすげえんだぜ。この世界すらめちゃくちゃにできちまう。面白え、たまんねえ。それを観測して計算して理論を組んでまた実験して、そのループの先にどんなもんが現れるのか俺は見てみてえな。ワクワクしねえか、タクル。
Dad kept using the same voice he'd always use at home, but I wasn't hearing a word. The anger inside me just kept building.
とにかくよ、どんな時でも自分が面白いと思うことに従っとけ。これは父親代わりの人生訓ってやつだ。
Okay.
父 父親だと。あんたなんか父親じゃない。
I screamed. If you didn't, catch that fact. But Dad kept smiling.
とにかくな、俺にとっちゃギガロマニアックス研究は最高だ。こんなに楽しいこと他に存在しねえ。これがお前の質問への答えだ。
そんな。
That was the only reason? The only reason he worked for the committee? The only reason he done those horrible experiments in the basement?
ユイやノノや伊藤たちをあんな目に遭わせたの。それだけのために。
だから、何回言ったらわかんだよ。面白いだろ、その方が。
It was for the lulz, you see. Yorokobe. Yorokobe, shonen. The next thing I knew, I was running. The D sword appeared in my hand instantly. I had no weight, but I could feel it was there. I listened to the blaze roar as I ran down the corridor. And swung it upward the bastard on the stage. There was a high-pitched noise and a brilliant light, and I stopped. My hand went numb for a second. The mechanical D-sword had blocked my swing. Oreo? That sounds very familiar. Oreo. Who's? For some reason that voice sounds very similar. Was this voice actor? Did he do like some kind of like fake Go character or something? I don't know. Like Oreo. I don't know. It just reminds me of like some. I can't put my finger on it, but he probably voiced some kind of like character from some other media. Maybe fake Go. That sounds very, very, very familiar. Well, Dad muscles bulged like thick ropes as he swung his giant D-sword down at me. I guess he has the dad bod. I barely managed to block it, but the impact knocked me back into the front row seats. There was a sharp pain in my arm. I had been cut a little. It was an illusion before, but this time, real blood was running down my arm.
Oi, oi, お前の腕力で俺とチャンバラする気か?
Dad didn't move a step. Despite the fact that he has a giant beer gut, I guess he's very, agile with the D-sword. Well, Dad didn't move a step. He raised the giant D-sword onto his shoulders. His huge body was at least 185 centimeters tall, and he towered over me from the stage like a wall.
ま、たまには息子と遊んでやるか。娘ばっかり相手にしてちゃかわいそうだしな。ほら、こっちに来いよ。観客がしたい一つってのは物足りないけどな。
I'm gonna be honest. This is all kind of, I mean, without any context, I guess, without the whole like murder thing, like this is as if a dad is playing with his like kid with giant anime cosplay swords, his dad trying to be hip with the kids, and making his own cosplay, and they're just play fighting. But anyway, well, yeah. Then he kicked Serika's unmoving body once more. Don't mind the corpse though. I felt anger, but also an undescribable despair. What was I doing here? I come to find out the truth from Serika, but I killed her myself. There's no reason for me to be here anymore. So didn't that mean there's no reason to try and fight Dad? Now, it wouldn't even be a fight. I'd probably just get myself killed. So maybe... When Serica had cut open my leg before, had only been an illusion. I could run to the exit. That probably won't work. It'll just mind control you and then you die. If I caught him off guard, I could escape, maybe. But... I went forward. I hadn't done any real exercise since my physical therapy 6 years ago. It sounds like a... I was pretty bad at running, I guess. A vision of Nono and Yui flashed through my mind, and for some reason I saw Serica smiling, like she used to do when we were in the newspaper club. Yeah, the audience, which is me, I guess. We're getting bored, hurry up and kill each other, come on. I want to see some blood. When I looked at him, I suddenly had an idea in the corner of my mind. I remembered when he'd said, what he said. That the machine on his back was what gave him his power. Well, that seems like a very giant weakness, I guess. You know, just, take off the straps and just put it on yourself, and now you have superpowers. There's like doubled, double superpowers. That he was an artificial gigalomaniac. Then what if I could get? What if I could get rid of that machine? Well, we can use our psychokinesis powers, right? We can just actually literally undo the straps, and then let it drop. Then probably, then he would just be useless at that point. When you think about it, we could just done this the whole time, actually. Maybe he shouldn't, I guess it's the typical villain thing, but maybe he shouldn't have told us that the backpack is what gave him his powers, but anyway. I stood and climbed up onto the stage. The lights shone down upon my head. I could hear a non-existent crowd screaming for my death from the empty seats. I readied the D-sword. My hand still felt a little numb.
Oh, 主役っぽいぞ、タクル。それでいい。
I took a step to the side, trying to look as natural as possible. By moving to the side, I was able to see part of the device on his back. I hit him with my powers as hard as I could. Dad heard a noise behind him and turned around. I had a clear view of the machine. I concentrated harder and hit him with more of my power. Dad howled like a wild animal and swung his D-sword, but I didn't stop, as long as I could destroy that machine. Oh, I guess, well, we should have did it in a more subtle way. I feel my plan was better, just sneakily just undo the straps and then the machine will fall off, and then he'll be like, oh, what happened? And then you stab him, right? Instead, we were trying to crush it, but that took too long, I guess. Now he's just mind controlling us. My vision suddenly blurred. I felt a cold wind on my cheek, and I could see the city in the distance. Where was I? And also, while we're having this weird mind control dream, he could just stab us right now. But again, I don't know how it works. Maybe it's the time is relative in our minds. Maybe while we're being mind controlled, we only maybe a millisecond has passed in real life. So maybe he can't just stab us while he's using the mind powers. But I don't know. Where was I? Of course. More mind control. I panic and try to use my D-sword. It was gone. The D-sword had disappeared. I concentrated as best as I could. I imagined the pale light of the sword. Come on, come on. I couldn't see him or sense him, but Dad was probably right in front of me with his huge D sword. But it couldn't make my D sword appear. I couldn't see it. I couldn't find it. It was supposed to appear when I imagined it. No.
何のんちゃん、話って。
Sariko was standing there on the roof, and so was...
白々しいわね。あなたなら聞かなくてもわかるんでしょ、セリカ。
It was Nono. Nono was standing in front of me talking.
生きてたののか。
Nono is...
いや、違う。
My sense of logic dispelled the hope that was forming in my mind. This was mind control. Dad's power was causing me to hallucinate. The two of them were right in front of me, but didn't seem to know I was there.
分かっていたんだな、クルスノノ。
ええ。
Suddenly, Sarika changed. The smiling, happy girl from the newspaper club disappeared. She became a cold, remorseless killer.
やめろ。おのえ。
I knew I was being mind controlled, but couldn't help myself. I felt a cold chill in my heart, and all the hairs on my body stood up on end. Was this how it went down before? I feel like Nono attacked Sarika, and then she, gave off the emotionless face. So I'm thinking like this hallucination is probably just from Sakuma's perspective, or will he interpret what happened, maybe? I don't know. Something like that.
なら、こうなることも分かっていただろう。
Sarika's D-sword appeared in her hand, and no comment about Nono, using her D-sword too, or something? I feel like Takaru would be surprised, but anyway. Nono didn't seem surprised, though, and she just glared at Sarika. Stop it. Stop it, Sarika.
タクルのことも殺すつもり？
それはない。あいつのことは私が生かし続ける。それが私の存在理由だ。
信じられないわ。だから私はあなたを止める。この命を使ってでも。
そう言うと思った。だからお前は邪魔なんだ。
やめろ!
I screamed as Sarika stepped forward, but there was no sign that she heard me. I tried to summon my D-sword, but it didn't work. I tried to get between the two of them. And I realized I couldn't move. My legs felt like they were frozen to the ground. We're recycling CGs, by the way. This is the CG we had before on the roof. But my head was clear. I couldn't let this happen. I knew I had to stop it, but... Sarika's and Nono's D-swords slam into each other. Ah, yes. Sarika's and Nono's D. There was a flash so bright I was forced to close my eyes. And Nono's D-sword cracked.
見込み違いだったな。お前の思考は丸見えだ。まだ私に友情を期待しているとはな。
Sarika kept going forward. There's no hesitation on her face. I feel like it's a bit slightly different, but I don't know. Maybe it's the same. I don't know if we saw the full extent of the fight, on the roof. Like we didn't. I don't think we. Well, did we? Maybe. I can't remember. I can't remember if we saw Sarika give the final blow to Nono, but maybe there was like that final clash, I believe. That happened, and the whole like samurai trope where like two samurai, they draw their katanas and then they charge each other, and then you cut to like black or whatever, and it's like a slashing sound, and both of them are both on the other side, and you're not sure who got slashed or whatever, that kind of trope. Anyway. I think that's what happened before in the original scene, but no matter how much I screamed, they didn't hear me. I couldn't move. Sarika crossed right in front of me, carrying her gigantic deadly weapon.
私の中に友情など存在しない。
And in the next moment,
タクル、ごめんね。
I felt like Nono looked at me. And then, Sarika's D-sword ran her through. Yeah, a lot of screaming, by the way. Throughout the entire visual novel, Takeru just loves to scream, I guess.